Hello my darlings. Hello, how is it going? I hope you've had a wonderful week. Today I would like you to practice your English speaking skills with me again. So we will have another self-talk practice today. Yes. Like, you know, so today we're gonna play with these. Do you know what it is? I don't know if it's focusing on that. These ones are called story cubes. And guess what it is? Well, there are cubes in here, and there are certain pictures on those. And what you do with those is that you roll them, and based on the pictures that you've got, you have to create a story. Yeah. It sounds quite terrifying, and most of my students, they are like, oh well, like fuck, that's gonna be hard. Actually much easier than you think, and most of the time it's actually hilarious, and I just love listening to what my students come up with during the lesson. I would say like lessons with these ones are actually one of the funniest ones. You know, you're under a lot of pressure and your brain can like come up with some crazy things, and you know, it's just a lot of fun. So I really recommend using those. So what we're gonna do is that I'm gonna roll the dice. I'm gonna tell you what the picture is. Your task will be to create a story where you have to involve all of those words, right? You can say as many sentences as you want, but you know, at some point you have to include these words in the story. I will give you those words. I would like you to pause the video and just think about your own little story. We will see what comes up in your head. If you want to practice not only your speaking but your writing as well, feel free to write them down below. Yeah, just to entertain me. Yeah, thank you very much. Afterwards I will give you my version of the story. I'm not really sure how that's gonna go because it's quite early in the morning for me at the moment and my brain is not working the right way. I'm not saying that on any other day it is working normally, right? But mornings are particularly challenging, you know? So let's start with these three and let's roll them and let's see what we've got. Okay, so the first picture is this one. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a little monster, a lock, right? And then we've got a mobile phone. So what I recommend doing is creating a character. For example, my story will be about a guy called Bob. Who remembers Bob? This is much harder than I thought. I always like let my students do it, but I never do it myself. Fucking hell, oh my god. To all of the students who have ever done this activity, you've got my respect and admiration because I cannot think of anything. So once upon a time there was Bob, and Bob lost his mobile phone. Yeah. So he decided to go to the shopping center to buy a new one, right? He got all ready and he wanted to leave the house, but then he realized that his door was locked and he couldn't get out of the house, which was really strange because he never locked his house because he lived in the countryside and it was a very safe environment. Yeah, so it was really strange. Bob started to search for his keys and he was walking around the house and he couldn't see them anywhere. And then out of a sudden Bob saw a monster in his kitchen. Wow. And he got really scared and he wanted to run outside, but he couldn't because the door was locked and he didn't know what to do, and he started to fight with the monster, but the monster was stronger and the monster killed Bob and Bob died. The end of story. Okay, that was a great start, wasn't it? Never mind. Okay, let's try other ones, shall we? A tree, a book, and a fish. So once upon a time there was a little girl called Lily. Yeah, there was a little girl called Lily, right? And Lily really loved nature, and every single day she would go to a forest for a long walk. Yeah, she loved the nature. And she would always go to this particular tree that was in the middle of the forest. It was a huge tree, like, you know, more than 100 years old. It was big and beautiful, and she would always sit down and she would read a book, her favorite book about mental illnesses. Yeah, and one day she was walking around and she got lost in the forest. She couldn't find her tree, which was really strange because she knew the forest through and through, but you know, on that day she just got lost, and she actually discovered a little pond in the middle of the forest that she had never seen before. And as she was walking around, she heard a noise, and Lily turned around and she looked into the water and she saw a fish. The fish was speaking to her, and the fish said, like, I am a magical goldfish and I can make your wishes come true. So Lily said, oh, that's interesting. And she said, yeah, I would like to have a bigger house, and I would like to have a new car and a lot of shoes and a lot of clothes. And the fish said, no, I'm just joking, I'm not a magical fish, ha 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 ha, so I will not fulfill your wishes, ha ha ha. And Lucy got angry and she killed the fish. Fucking hell. Oh my god, like, why is it so depressing? Way too many true crime stories, I think. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. So we've got these three, and we will try to have a story with 4 of those, right? So let's roll it. And we've got an eye, then we've got a little teepee, an aeroplane. This story will be about a Native American boy named Bibu. That's actually a nickname for my dog. Yeah, I call my dog Bibu. Anyway, so Bibu, yeah. He lived in his little village with his other Native American relatives and friends, and they were just, you know, like chilling, hunting, you know, like, yeah, living in teepees and yeah, riding horses and all of those things that we can see in Western films, right? And just because Bibu was turning 18, right, he had to go on a mission to become an adult. Yeah, so he had to go out to the wilderness and discover and understand himself and his true potential, and he had to kill a mammoth. Mammoths were not alive at that point, but it doesn't matter. He had to kill some big animal, and he had to carry the animal back to the village to prove to his tribe that he is an adult. He left the village and he started his journey. Yeah, and he started to feel a little discomfort in his eye, and he realized that actually he started to have conjunctivitis, very beautiful illness, yeah, infection of your eye. So he actually lost his sight and he became blind. Yeah, so blind Bibu is walking across the desert, and out of a sudden an arrow pierces his body. Yeah, what's wrong with my head? Yeah, but never mind. Yeah, the arrow pierces his leg, and Bibu is on the floor, yeah, crying, screaming because he is blind and he cannot walk anymore. But out of a sudden he hears a sound of a plane in the sky, and he starts screaming, you know, help me, help me, help me. So luckily, you know, the people on the plane, they saw Bibu on the floor, and they decide to land, and they come and they help him, and they take him to the hospital in New York. And they fix his and they cure his conjunctivitis and his leg, right, which is pierced with the arrow. And Bibu discovers a new world in New York, and he falls in love with New York. He actually finds a lady, yeah, that he falls in love with, and they have a lot of children. They've got a wedding, yeah, a lot of children, and they start a new life. And you know, like, Bibu, yeah, lives even now. He's really happy. He is sending me photos of his family. Yeah, he's all right. Yeah, he is fine. Yeah. Let's try another one. Oh my god. So for this one we have a turtle, an alien, I guess. Yeah, lovely. Then we have a flower, a bee. We should make it like a very, very positive story, because obviously there is something wrong with my brain, and my brain is incredibly negative, but never mind. Okay, so we so once upon a time there was this alien. His name was Rupert. Yeah. And Rupert, right, he was in his spaceship, right, you know, just, you know, like roaming through the space, and he saw, you know, the planet Earth. So he decided to land there, and he actually met a lady there. The lady's name was Rebecca, and Rupert and Rebecca, they fell in love with each other, because Rupert was able to adapt, and actually he was able to modify his body, and he was able to copy the human anatomy, so he looked like a human to Rebecca, right? And yeah, they had a lot of children, they started a happy life together. And Rebecca had a lovely garden around her house with a lot of flowers and and Rupert actually took some flowers from his planet. So there were some alien flowers and plants, and just because he was not eating human food, he needed to plant those special plants and flowers in order to survive, right? So he had a beautiful garden full of magical flowers. Just because the bees, they couldn't recognize which flower is a native earth flower and which one is the alien one, they were actually collecting the pollen from those alien flowers. And that means that the bees also started to develop this ability to change their anatomy, and they actually started turning into turtles. So all of the bees were now turtles. That means there were no bees on the planet Earth, and the entire nature died, and all of the humans died with it. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Please tell me that you were able to come up with some more like positive stories, because shit, like I should go for therapy. Am I a psychopath? Please tell me I'm not the only one. Anyway, let's do 5 now, right? Yeah, I think we have warmed up a little bit, and now we are ready for 5 of those. Right, so we've got these 2 little faces, and I think that represents a theater, right? We've got this thing, which is a magnifying glass. This is a sheep. Yeah, lovely, beautiful. This is a bridge, fountain, yeah. Let's see. Surprise me, come on. Yeah, positive energy. So once upon a time there was a sheep called Brendan. And Brendan was very strange. He was very quirky, and the rest of his flock or herd, the rest of his herd didn't like him. So he decided to leave. Yeah, he was not really happy with his family members, because he was actually the black sheep of the family. That's a great and positive start. Well done, Christina. So he started the journey, right? And he was walking across the land, and then he got to a river. And he wanted to cross the river, but there was not any bridge, so he had to build one. So he started to cut the trees, and he started to build this bridge so that he could go across the river, right? And somebody heard the noise. So actually it was a giraffe that heard this noise coming from the forest, and the giraffe approached Brendan, and he was like, what the fuck are you doing? This is my forest, you are not allowed to cut the trees. And Brendan said, yeah, but I would like to cross the road, and there is not, you know, like I don't know how, because I cannot swim. And the giraffe called Melman Melman said like, oh, actually you can, like, we have a bridge in our village, so you can come with us, or you can come with me, and I will show you where the bridge is, right? So Brendan and Melman go together to Melman's village, right? And because Brendan is really tired, he decides to stay over the night, because Melman had invited him to stay over and, you know, yeah, just chill for a little bit, get to know each other, you know. And that evening there was actually a play in a theater, and Melman was like, hey Brendan, would you like to come with us to see the play? And Brendan obviously wants to have friends, and at the play he meets a lot of people, and he actually falls in love with the theater, and he realized that he would like to be an actor. Because he became a very famous actor, yeah, and he earned a lot of money, and he bought this beautiful villa, or this mansion with the fountain in front of it. And yeah, he actually, because he loved Melman and his friends who like helped him out of the, yeah, like out of this like difficult situation, right, that he was in, he actually like invested a lot of money into the village, right, he gave a lot of money to the locals, he built a lot of bridges, yeah, to cross the river, and he was looking after the city. He was actually elected as a mayor of the city, yeah, and Brendan was loved, yeah, and finally he found his purpose, yeah. What about the magnifying glass? Brendan also developed an infection in his eye, conjunctivitis, and he became blind. So he had to be using magnifying glass in order to see things. But just because he had a lot of money, he was able to pay private doctors who helped him, and he's fine, he's happy, he's healthy, he's got a beautiful wife, Panda. Yeah, and they've got beautiful, fluffy, clumsy children together, and Melman was the godfather of his children. Yeah. I'm sweating. Anyway, next one. We've got a footprint, a key, a pyramid, a walking stick, clock, okay, so we are in Egypt, right? We are in Egypt, and this story is about an Egyptian lady called Leslie. Whatever. So Leslie lives in Egypt, right? It is like Egypt is a big empire. Everybody is happy, healthy. Yeah, pyramids are, you know, like being erected in the desert. Everybody is happy, and you know, everything is really cool. But Leslie actually lost her leg when she was really young, so she had to be using walking stick everywhere she went. Yeah, Leslie was a bit disabled, unfortunately. Yeah, she actually couldn't work on the pyramid, and she was working as a foot massagist. Yeah, because she loved feet of people, because she had only one foot, and that's why she dedicated her life to feet and looking after legs and stuff, and she wanted to help other people prevent injuries, and she just wanted to spread the knowledge of like feet and how we should appreciate our feet and our legs and all of the limbs and our bodies. And she was like a chiropractitioner as well, yeah, and massagist. And she was just you know, one of those, yeah, she was just one of those shamans in the village, you know, or like a druid in Celtic empire. I don't know what Egyptians had, but you know, she was like the wise woman that was advising the king or the pharaoh, or that guy, the boss, yeah, the leader, yeah. And she was very well respected. She knew everything. She was working with herbs, and she had like remedies for everything, yeah, for all of the illnesses. Like, oh my god, she was a boss bitch, yeah. She was amazing. Oh my god, yeah, huge respect to her, yeah. And what was her name? Yeah, Leslie, yeah. So she had an amazing career, but once, because she was getting old and her time was ticking, she was not able to continue her job. So she needed somebody to replace her. Yeah, she needed somebody to replace her, and somebody with whom she could share her wisdom, right? And she started interviews. She was looking for the person that would like, to whom she could unlock her imaginary chest of wisdom, and she could share all of the knowledge with. And she found a person. Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did. It was a guy called Steve, and Steve learned everything. Yeah, he learned all of her wisdom, and he continued her like practice. Yeah, and they in Egypt they built a giant statue of Leslie. Yeah, she is very well known. Yeah, you might have heard about her. Yeah, she's in the history books. Yeah, she's there. Yeah. The last one, and I'm actually gonna throw all of these and we will see what we're gonna get, right? So we have a rainbow, yay! Some bug, a flash of lightning, or like a lightning bolt. Then we've got somebody who is sleeping, shooting star, or comet, fire, yeah, magic wand, parachute. Oh my god, I need to go for a wee. Our story will be about a bug called Billy. Yeah, Billy the bug. Yeah, and Billy the bug was again, he was not really happy where he was. He was working as a builder, obviously. Yeah, it's not a good job. He was not happy. He would like to start his own business as a professional parachuter. He wanted to fly, basically. Billy wanted to become a pilot of a plane or a helicopter, and he really wanted to feel what it is like when you fly, and he wanted to try skydiving. Yeah, that was his dream, and he decided to try. But you know, there were no, you know, classes, there was no university for pilots in his little colony, so he decided to leave. Yeah, it was really sad. He said goodbye to all of his friends and family members, and he started his journey, right? And he was walking through the forest, and out of a sudden he saw fire. Oh my god, yeah, there was a fire, and he ran to see what's going on, and he saw that there were a couple of ants. They were stuck in, yeah, they were stuck in the fire. So Billy ran and he saved them. He saved their lives. Yeah, Billy, the hero. Yeah, so he saved their lives, and these ants were called Andy and Aaron. Yeah, and they were like, oh my god, hey mate, like thank you so much, you really saved us. Like we were like, oh my god, yeah. And they could not extinguish the fire, but luckily it started to rain. Yeah, it started to rain, and yeah, the fire got extinguished, and everything was fine. And after this terrible experience, the guys, they chilled out. They could see a beautiful rainbow in the sky. Yeah, and it was really romantic, and yeah, like very like calming after this terrible experience with nearly being burned in the fire, obviously. Yeah, but they survived, and they were enjoying this beautiful romantic moment together. And anyway, Billy asked the guys like, hey, like do you know about any like university for bugs who would like to become pilots? Yeah. And the ants were like, yeah, we know, yeah, but you yeah, we actually know the headmaster of this university, and we can take you to him, and you will see if he would accept you. So they headed to the headmaster's office, and the headmaster was asleep. It was actually a beaver. Yeah, it was a headmaster was a beaver in this forest university for animal pilots. Yeah, and he was asleep, so they had to wake him up, and you know, like the headmaster was not really happy about it. No. And they actually realized that the headmaster was Dumbledore. Yeah, because the university for pilots was actually Hogwarts. Yeah, and so Billy had to go to do some shopping, right? He had to go to the street I can't remember the name of, in order to buy a magic wand, because now he had to become a wizard. Yeah, obviously. Yeah, he had to become a wizard. And one evening he was like walking around the city alone. It was really dark. He was actually looking at the stars, because it was the night of there is a name for these like shooting stars, I can't remember. Yeah, so he was like watching those. Yeah, it was really dark, and out of a sudden Lord Voldemort appeared, and they had a fight, right? They had a fight, and Billy ended up with a scar on his forehead. Yeah, because this is a story of Harry Potter. Yeah, because originally, you know, Harry Potter was a bug. Yeah, it was that's the original story, and J.K. Rowling, you know, she stole it, and you know, she made it about Harry Potter, but no, it was Billy the Bug. He was the, you know, the child that survived the attack by Voldemort. Yeah, it was him. Yeah, fuck Harry Potter. Yeah. Yeah, so that was it. And I've got the torch. Fucking hell. Yeah, the torch. Billy had to use the torch because it was dark and he was looking for his glasses. Yeah. I basically killed a majority of those characters in my stories, and majority of them had some illnesses or disabilities. So I think right after this I'm going to call some therapist and I will seek help, don't worry. In case anybody played this game with me, then please let me know in the comments. You know, write your stories into the comment section below. I would love to read them. I'm wishing you a fantastic rest of the week. I cannot wait to see you next time. Stay happy and healthy, and I will catch you later.